And you know what it comes down to? And I'm going to say it. The question of anger, what you get angry at. Do you get angry? Don't you get angry? And there's many forces in our culture that say, you're not supposed to get angry. You have to stop and think and be cool. I don't buy that. To me, legitimate anger is a form of love. You're going to make me look gorgeous. I was born October 24th, 1915 in Brooklyn, but I have to say that I never referred to myself as being a part of Brooklyn or even being a part of New York. I was born in a very special community called Brownsville in Brooklyn, an easy community in which young people could become radicalized. Everything that was happening to me was politicalization from my childhood, my whole childhood. I lived among a lot of socialist kind of people. Everybody in my neighborhood belonged to unions. Everybody. So it wasn't like I went to meetings and I was politicized. I was living it all the time. Well, I had been reading the left press for quite a time. I was a member of the Young Communist League. And so when the Spanish Civil War broke out, it was a big subject for discussion. And not too long after that, the word came down, I think mainly through the communist ranks, but it came down that they were recruiting volunteers all over the world to go to fight in Spain. So I experienced a desire to go, but it was very difficult for me to go because I was in love and I had a very beautiful girlfriend, and I didn't want to give up on the yum. You see, the conflict was one side of me didn't want to go because I didn't want to give up this thing. I was 21 years old, and I'd never had it before. And the other part of me was the ethical, the moral, the political side of me, which said, that's your fight, you should be in it. And that goes on. Meanwhile, some of my friends already were going over. Some of them have been killed and wounded. I began to feel a little ashamed of myself. Funny. Like, how can I get up in front of a crowd and talk about supporting the Spanish Republic when people are going over there to fight? And that's what pushed me in that direction. And then I began to see pictures of what's going on. They call it newsreel. They used to show in the movie theater the news on newsreel. And there were pictures of the bombardment of Madrid and so forth, and civilians get plastered all over the place. And it just pushed me over the edge. I knew that if I didn't go, I'd be ashamed all my life. That's what I knew. I knew that. My parents never knew I was going to Spain. My parents were under the impression that I was going out to be a field organizer for the CIO. I wrote to my girlfriend a couple of times every week. She never answered, ever. And it drove me crazy. She didn't answer at all. In Spain, it was the place where I learned that I didn't have to know that I was going to win in order to fight. It became the main theme of my life, and that is that you resist whether you win or lose. You resist. That the process of resistance itself is rewarding to you as a person. Because once you know that it's shitty and lousy, and you do nothing about it, you lose a piece of yourself. And a person who's incapable of being angry is incapable of loving. I'll put it that bluntly.